Okay. Yay. Okay. Okay. Now. the last 2 pieces of firewood for the season. 1, 2. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Beautiful morning, last day of camping weather. I wanted to set up right here by the creek that's behind my site. You can see the truck over there behind me where I was sleeping in it over the night, but there's a creek right directly behind the camera. That makes some really nice babbly noises. I'm on the way back from a Pipestem trip, and I was 3 nights there, and then I decided to stay here at Camp Creek on the way back. It's just the next exit on the interstate, basically. But it's Camp Creek, and it is very, very pretty, very quiet, very peaceful. Leaves falling all over the place every time the wind blows. Very quiet this morning, so we probably won't see any more leaves. However, I slept better here at Camp Creek, but it was only because the deer are so plentiful and all in the campground. Like, everything is more wooded in the campground itself. And so there were deer literally outside the windows on the truck crunching leaves all night long. So they would wake me up every so often. Here, I think I slept a 5-hour stretch without waking up because I just wasn't disturbed. But again, the whole experience here and at Pipestem has been amazing. Sad. This is the last campings of the year, but it's really good that I got to come out and do this. It's kind of I know it sounds funny, but I've always been a very safety conscious, be careful, prepare in advance and all that. This is a little bit out of my envelope. Here I turned 60 years old about 3 weeks ago, and suddenly I am going out on my own to go to a park. And again, I've camped before. Dee and I, we've camped in our trailers a lot, and we do all that and do all those systems. But the idea that you're light and mobile, you jump, you sleep in a truck, and you go and you do that, and then you come back, that's kind of out of my envelope and out of my safety zone. And so I turned 60 years old, and suddenly I strike out on my own and I'm sleeping in the truck and camping. It's an interesting feeling, but at the same time, it's kind of a nice 60-year-old bust out, I guess, of whatever you want to call it. But then there's this other thing. A year ago, I was convinced that I could barely walk, so I would never even walk again, hardly much, for any distance at all, much less try to pull something like this. I was convinced that all this was over and I could never do a trip like this or anything. But in January, I started working on losing weight, and I ended up losing 50 pounds in the next few months, and I've maintained. I'm still overweight, there's no question, but I've never been more happily plateaued in my weight. And it is, I can walk, and I know you've seen me walking on video, and I probably still walk funny to some people, but I was walking like a hobbit back in the day, just dragging around trying to get places and stuff with that extra 50 pounds. I've had a knee replacement on the left knee, but my right knee needed one, and then all of a sudden it doesn't seem to need one so bad. They've been giving me some injections in it and everything. But I was able to crawl in and out of the back floorboard of the truck where I have all my pups so I can sleep. And it's kind of like sleeping in a chase lounge because I'm 9 inches taller than what the actual 5 feet distance between the doors is. But it has worked wonderfully. And as long as deer aren't outside crunching leaves, I'm sleeping good, And I am so thrilled, and it has been such an amazing trip. Such a great end of the season. I guess such a 60-year-old, rite of passage or something. I don't know, because I know younger men do this all the time, but this was really stepping out of the box for me, and it has been so great. And I do want to say thank you to Dee, my wife. Now she is where she's handicapped. We do need glamping facilities, which we do. With you see the RV is the 30-foot Rockwood, and it has as comfortable a bed as we have at home. Everything we need, kitchen, air, heat, whatever we need. It's all there, all the facilities. This is seat of your pants stuff to where I'm sleeping in the truck and I want it electric, and I have a heating or a little hot plate over there that I do my coffee, and I'll be doing some oats here in a minute, and also we'll be doing some I fried eggs and bacon on it, and made some baked beans on it and stuff like that. Some dinners I comboed with the hot plate doing part of it and roasting something else over the fire, in cast iron or whatever. And I did that kind of thing over at Pipestem. But this is the last morning, and I'm leaving. I got to be out of here by noon. Right now, it's not 9 o'clock yet. I think it's around 8 something. And so I'm kind of stretching out and delaying and trying to kind of make it last for a little bit. But anyway, the D is the one that called and made the reservations for me at these places. It's not like I'm going off and leaving my handicapped wife, but she is so thrilled that I was able to do this and that I can do this now. And what's interesting is at both campsites, at this one, which seems like this remote thing with the babbling brook and the stuff, and the same thing at Pipestem, it was back in the woods like that. I've had 5G coverage on my phone at both campsites. So while I did a video call, I did a video call with the D, and we talked, and I showed her everything, walked around the campsites and let her see everything, and we just sat there and talked while I was sitting there by the fireplace and stuff, and let her see the leaves falling and so it's interesting being at a campfire and not having her there with me. But I've spent a lot of time sitting around the fire, and I'm a thinker, so I can spend a lot of time thinking, and I just sit there and watch the fire and think. I'd probably sitting by the fire was the second most done activity, I guess you'd say it that way, compared to just sleeping was the only thing I did more than sitting around the fire. And I've just had a fire every day and enjoyed. And I know probably on the video you've just seen me throw the last couple of pieces of wood in the fire, so that's all. It's next morning now and it's all burnt up. But this is really a thing. It's the first time I've been to this park. We've camped a fair amount. Most of it has been at Pipestem. We've been to Canaan Valley, and we've been to Coakley Campground at North Bend, but we haven't really done a whole lot of camping at other parks. And while I'm sure it'll be next year before I go out by myself again, my plan is to every so often take a 3 or 4 day trip and hitting the other state parks in West Virginia in order to just see what they're about. As long as they've got a plug-in and a bathhouse, that's what I'll go for, because I am doing plug-in camping. I don't even have a gas stove with me over there. I probably should get one, and I could spend one night here and there at unimproved areas. But this has just been amazing. It's been beautiful, and it just kind of gets your head recentered and ready to go take care of life some more. I mean, the camper's all winterized. I got the camper winterized, and I got the little car inspected before I left, and I was expecting to have to do those as soon as I got back, but I got them done in the week before I left, and so that's off my mind. And now I can there's some other things that need to be done I'd like to do around the outside before wintertime, and I got a leg or two up on the competition. I'm ready to go home and get started, because once you've done this, there's no urgency to leave, but there is an eagerness to get started on the rest of your life and start doing things. And of course, I miss Dee, and I don't know, maybe I need to set up a place at the house where we can sit around the fire there, maybe. something like that. We've got enough land to do it. I guess I could set up something like that this fall. And it's supposed to be getting cold though. When it gets very cold, she can't go out like that and sit around the fire because it kind of freezes into your bones. I totally understand that with the arthritis in various parts of my body and stuff. But anyway, this is the end of 4 days of amazing solo truck campage. I'm definitely going to have to do this again probably next spring because now, between now and till after the first of the year, we have something going on every couple 3 weeks or so before uh, between now and, like you say, the first of the year. That's it. There's something scheduled for that. So this isn't something I want to do in the middle of the winter anyway, although I could get enough heat and things. I don't want to do it in the hot summer either. Even though the truck is air conditioned, I'd have to leave the truck running quite a bit. But it's just, this is more of a fall and a spring activity. Plus, you can get, if you're a senior citizen, you can get discounts in the off season from the state of West Virginia if you're a resident. Check into that. It's good stuff. But again, this is Site 13 at Camp Creek State Park and Forest, I think it says. The waterfalls didn't have very much to show for them. They were more like water trickles rather than waterfalls. Took some pictures. Some of those will show up on here, I'm sure. But probably one of the best features of the park here is this site is right along this creek, and in the spring floods, I'm guessing it could be bad. But just that trickling water behind your campsite. I was sitting by the fire, and I could hear the sound of the fire, and then I could hear behind me the trickle of the water, and that was a unique experience. I've never had that before. I'm sure other people have done it, but so this Site 13 is definitely a keeper for this truck camping. I think so. And of course, Site 39 at Pipestem was great too. But I don't know if this will be on the same video or a separate video, but this has just been a massively wonderful, relaxing, getting your head centered type of trip. And I totally will do this again other times. So anyway, I guess I'm signing off for this trip. I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm going to make me some oatmeal. I've got a bag over there. It's modular. It's so funny. The most healthy breakfast I can have, and I have had, is the easiest to make. I've got oatmeal and raisins and walnuts in a sandwich bag, and the same apparatus. This cup, I got a cup that's big enough. I drink the coffee, and then I pour the oats in it, then I pour the water in it, then I steep it for a little while, and then I eat the oats. And that is the main thing. I'm hearing something from that motorhome over there that sounds like a sweeper. Well, time to go. Anyway, coffee. Time to go. End of the season. So sad.